Hello and welcome back to Dave's Delights. As always, I'm Dave and I'm delighted to be here with you today. So today I'm doing a request. And of all people for the request I'm getting is from my wife. So she wants a sheet pan chicken dinner. And it's going to be with seasonal root vegetables. But for her, she doesn't like carrots. Now, I like carrots, so I'm going to have them in there. But I got to make sure that I have enough other stuff so that we can have things that everybody likes. So let me talk about what we're going to be using today. We're going to be having, first off, 2 cups of root vegetables, and I've split it up between 4 types. I have sweet potatoes. In this case, these are the local from the farm next door, which are white sweet potatoes, but you can use them as any type of sweet potato or yam you like. I have a parsnip that I have chopped up and quartered into small pieces. I have several red beets, which again are quartered and about the same size as all the other chop. And then I have carrots. Now, if I'd had them available, I would have gone with like the rainbow carrots, so that would have multiple colors. But since all I had today were orange carrots, you know, these have a little bit of yellow in them as well. But I would love to have the true yellow. But like I said, today they just had normal carrots. So I cut them into small pieces and then have them so that they will bake well. So I also have a tablespoon of olive oil, a teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of freshly ground pepper, half teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of crushed red pepper flake, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, a dog that really wants to play with me, but we're just not going to pay attention to Flurry right now. And then I have a tablespoon of honey and a quarter cup of jelly. Now, the jelly I chose today is plum jelly, but you could certainly use apple, or you could use, or pretty much any fruit as long as it's jelly, not jam. We're looking for it to be clear, not just preserved fruits. So pick any flavor you like, but I chose plum today. And then a pound of chicken. I'm going to be using boneless, skinless breasts. Boneless, skinless thighs. But you can also use boneless, skinless breasts. But I mean, basically any part of the chicken you like, as long as there's no bones and there's no skin on it. Because the way this works, we're going to be coating it. And if we're coating the skin is going to be great. But then that flavor is not going to get down into the meat. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take our root vegetables. Our root vegetables are going to go into this bowl. And I'm going to take that tablespoon of olive oil. And that's going to go in. And I'm going to take half of this teaspoon of salt and put that in. I'm going to put half of the pepper in, so that's a quarter teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to stir it to coat. Give it a quick toss so that the oil gets on it as well as the salt and pepper. Now, once that's how you want it, we're going to take a baking sheet. And I'm going to consider this baking sheet put in half. So I'm going to lay this 2 cups of root vegetables along the one side here. Kind of lay them out and get them so that they're flat and spread out and not all on top of each other. Perfect. And then this is going to go into a 425-degree oven for 15 minutes. We're going to get this started cooking through and getting soft. So I'm going to put this in. I will see you guys back once it's time to add the next step. See you in a moment. Okay, so while those vegetables are cooking, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our sauce. It's for like a candy glaze more than anything else. So I'm going to take a small mixing bowl, and I'm going to put in my quarter cup of jelly. My almost quarter cup of jelly. I'm going to put in a quarter teaspoon of the salt. So that's about that much. That leaves me a half teaspoon left for the other purpose, which we're going to use later. I need the Dijon mustard. I'm just going to poke that in with a spoon. And the cinnamon. And also going to be sticky, the honey. So once I get all this in here, I've got to stir it up really, really nice so that it comes together. And I wash my hands all the time, as you guys know, but sometimes you go, man, I really want to lick these fingers, but I'm going to resist. What you do in your own kitchen, up to you. But I don't want to do that on camera. So this is mixed up really, really well. And as you can see, it is now a pretty loose, more brown than anything else because of the color of the jelly, but a nice liquid that I can use to toss these different ingredients in. So once we have our carrots and the other root vegetables out of the first 15 minutes of the oven, I'm going to come back and we are going to put this together for its final cook. All right, it's been 15 minutes, and now it's time to pull this sheet pan out of the oven and get it ready for our next part here. So I need to arm myself with my bare hands and pull out this nice sizzling plate, tray of root vegetables. And I have the mixing bowl once again. And I've got a spatula because I don't want to use my bare hands, my real bare hands, to put these things back in here. You know, we're really cooking here. Sometimes it takes a second or two to make this stuff happen. But that's okay. This is actually, as far as things go, this is a recipe that gets done in about 30 minutes. So you could do this with a little bit of pre-prep or just having everything on hand. You could do this on any weeknight, and it's going to be a recipe that your family would love, or just you yourself. So I have reserved 3 tablespoons of the liquid, and I'm going to take the remainder, and that's going to go in with these root vegetables. And I'm going to stir to toss. And then this is going right back in on this sheet. And oh wow, the heat from the vegetables is bringing out that scent. This is going to be delicious. Yeah, by the way, that's pretty hot. So that is on. And now I'm going to take my same tossing bowl, and I'm going to put in my boneless, skinless chicken thighs. This is a pound of them. And remember, salmonella. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to wash my hands again. And then here is that 3 tablespoons of the glazing liquid. And we're going to toss this as well. And I'm going to put in the last of the salt. And now that that's all mixed up and covered, I'm just going to toss it into the smaller bowl to get the last of the liquid out of that. So that way I'm not wasting any of it. And then this is going to go onto the sheet pan as well. And we're going to lay these out so they're not on top of each other, because we're going to do this we're going to cook this for another 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to, halfway, so I'm going to do it at about 7 minutes, I'm going to flip. So that way I'm getting even cooking on the chicken. And then we're going to check the internal temperature because it needs to be 165 degrees before we consider this done. So this is going back into the oven. I will see you back here in about 10 minutes, possibly 15, but realistically 10 minutes for plating. See you soon. All right, I got 165 degrees on the internal temperature of these chicken pieces, and that took me 12 minutes with one flip in the between on my oven today. It's good to use, which I did. I used a thermometer to make sure I was right, and that way you don't have to worry about accidentally undercooking it or letting it stay in way too long and drying out your meat, especially if you're using chicken breasts. So time for the bare hands. Out comes the food. Oh, yes. Sizzle, 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 as they say. And boop, off comes the probe. So now it's sizzling and ready. What we need to do is put this on our plate. So again, I have a quarter of the plate laid out for a salad. I'm going to take another quarter for the root vegetables. And you can just go just like this, and you're going to lay out a quarter's worth. And then I'm going to take a piece of chicken, and then maybe another little smaller piece of chicken. And I need to put my bare hands back on so I don't scald myself. I've made that mistake before, forgetting that things are hot. So that's out of the way. I can take my trivet up. I've got stone, but I'm always nervous just leaving really hot stuff fresh out of the oven on the top of my countertop. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be fine. I'm always just a little nervous about it. Now, our final steps in preparation here will be that red pepper flake that we had. I'm going to take some and just kind of make it rain down onto the stuff. A little bit on the chicken, a little bit onto the vegetables. And then I have a fig glaze. Now you can use whatever kind of topping you like. As far as like the different balsamic glazes, or you don't have to use one at all because we've already candy glazed this. But I like giving it a little bit extra. One, for looks. Two, it's going to bring a little bit extra to the table. I'm using fig today, but a raspberry would be fine. Any of the more fruity glazes would be wonderful. And I'm going to take this. I'm just going to make some nice little swirls. And then I'm going to go pop and pop off the lid of my salad. And today I'm using a Dijon balsamic vinaigrette, which will pair pretty well with this Dijon glaze that I have on the vegetables and the chicken. And this is fresh. I made this myself. That's on. If you want to put a little goat cheese on the salad, you can. But otherwise, there is dinner ready to go. This would be one portion. You can certainly, if you got a chicken breast, I would split them in half because you want to make sure that they have a decent amount of meat, but we don't want to overdo it. I would rather not have the leftovers on the plate. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know my wife's going to enjoy this. And if you have any questions about it, you can leave me comments in the notes or in the comment section, should I say. And you can like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and give me suggestions for new things to cook. I'm always looking for a new challenge. Until next time, guys, I will see you later.